Right, so to recap on what we've learned so far in terms of capital allocation, Palantir was much more fiscally conservative from the point of IPO over the last few years, right? They spent less on sales and marketing, they spent less on R&D, they had stronger operating margins and generated much more free cash flow. So that fiscal conservatism, let's have a look at how that translated into impacting growth rates for the organization over the last few years. Now, this is a really interesting chart, right? What we can see is that both the control group and Palantir start out red hot, both growing north of 50%. Then in Q2 of 21, growth rates for Palantir start to slow pretty significantly, right? And ARR growth declines from 50% down to about 13% in Q2 of 2023. So for the control group, we see an acceleration post IPO. So the cohort median growth rate got up to 67% a couple of quarters post IPO. And then they too start to see a deceleration, right? But by Q2 of 22, there's a really big disparity here, right? The control group is growing about twice as fast as Palantir at this point. So Palantir's growth, right, that bottoms out in Q2 of 23 at about 13%. And then the reacceleration begins. And as at Q1 of 25, they've been able to generate an increase in ARR growth rates for the last 7 quarters, while the control group, it's been down and to the right, with growth rates hitting just 9% and 8% in Q3 of 24 and Q1 of 25, respectively. So, right, this is largely the defining chart behind the story that is Palantir today. Right, they've found a way to grow faster quarter after quarter in an environment where everyone else is struggling just to maintain growth rates. And this is one of the big reasons that they've been able to achieve such a high ARR multiple, right? Because when growth is hard to come by, right, those companies that are growing are rarely able to capitalize on that.